UK, where there's been a change of government, that the people who were they are searching their homes, calling them to EOCO, doing this, and those who need to be prosecuted, they will serve them with documents. I was in Parliament when Adom Otchere's documents came to him to fill them when he was being prosecuted. The prosecution had enough respect for then, as he was the ranking member on the Finance Committee, as he then was. And they brought the documents to Parliament, and he signed the court documents in Parliament. They did not even ask him to come to the police station. That was correct. That's proper. So eventually, it was showed that Adom Otchere by the Court of Appeal said that he wasn't guilty. So you can run all the wound to me commentary you want. He will go to court and the court will say that he's not guilty. Because in court, it's not just about the propaganda and the things we say or how we feel. In court, you have to establish the law. You have to establish that the law has been truly broken and that there's a punishment for it. So we get into somebody is annoying us because of the way wound to me. People say that wound to me, he goes to sit on TV and he's showing gold. He should put him inside. What's that? What's that? Democracy has no place for that. One day you say that because you think wound to me has done something wrong and you like. One day it will be your somebody because the pendulum swings. I was there when Adom Otchere called me that his factory had been broken at trade fair. He called me. Adom Otchere called me on the phone. Paulus, have you seen what they've done to my factory? I said, well, what? I went to the place on a Sunday with him to go and look at the devastating of the factory. I called Agnes Edu, who was trade fair boss at the time. I said, what happened? He said, you see, we told him to move. And then we took him to court. We have a court order. I said, Agnes, are you sure you have a court order? I said, I have a court order. I went back to Raymond. I said, Agnes says you have a court order. He said, it's not true. Then he asked me, would you give me an interview so that I can explain what happened? Go on YouTube. The interview is still there. He came to Good Evening Ghana and I gave him an interview. In those days, there were snipers of conversations that they should arrest Adom Otchere and people. And I remember NPP voices in those meetings said, you cannot arrest him. What has he done? If you have something against you, you should charge him. And there was a lot of argument about Adom Otchere should be arrested. He shouldn't be arrested. And there are people, I can mention their names. You know them. They said, you can't arrest him. These were the authorities, the attorney general people. They were telling the politicians, you can't arrest him. He has not done anything wrong. I went to see the devastation. Even those days, they had arrested him and put him in EOCO, that he has taken government land to do his private business. What would have been the outcome? He may have gone to court and won, but he was not arrested. And then I hosted him on TV. Some people didn't like it. But I said, no, it's not proper. So that's how it is. That day, he was on the other side of the law. On the other side of the politics, I should say. He was on the other side of the politics. He called me that they have broken his factory. I went to trade fair. I saw it. They had dug around his factory so he can't enter. You know, his factory building was there. And then what do they call it? The machine, the yellow thing that dig. Excavator. The excavator had excavated all the earth around his factory. So you have to jump down into the excavator and come up. It was quite deep. I stood there with him. I should have taken photographs. I think I did. And I must have sent the photographs to McDan. Yeah, so I'll check my contacts with McDan. I think I did. Because McDan was chairman of Trade Fair. And I had interviewed McDan on the show. And I had asked him what happened to Adom Otchere. And he had talked about it. So when Adom Otchere came, I said, this is what McDan said. And they had those exchanges. So it is not always like as it is. Today is a EOCO boss. But the other day, they had broken his factory at Trade Fair. So the law must take its place. Even to me has done something wrong. By all means, prosecute him. But you want to teach him a lesson that you have put him in EOCO. Well, you can teach him a lesson today. Next time, you will be at trade fair, they would have dug round. Is that how we want to do it? Well, fair enough. Those who are excited, you can be excited. But tomorrow is coming. It's coming very, very quickly. And people who can speak freely like this are those people who know that they have not done anything wrong to anybody when they have power. Because power moves from one person to the other. It's as it is, isn't it? So I will appeal to the EOCO people that it is becoming a bit stretchy on this matter. Kwabena Dubois, we saw it. What is happening in court today? Kwabena Dubois' case is not even progressing. The judge has asked the prosecution to bring witness statements. He has had to tell the prosecution twice to bring witness statements. Today is Thursday, tomorrow is Friday. It will be 2 weeks now since the judge asked them to bring the witness statement. No witness statement has come. Nothing. But they have kept Kwabena Dubois in there because somebody somewhere wants to teach him a lesson because of something that is unrelated to what they are talking about. That's always the case, viewers. It is always the case. They want to teach him a lesson about something that's unrelated to the matter they are dealing with. So people are calling me that, you see, Woon to me too, he goes to sit on TV and he says, I have houses, I have money. That may be wrong. That may have to be condemned. But is that a reason why you take his freedom? Because taking one person's freedom somewhere is taking another person's freedom, taking everybody's freedom everywhere. So let's not do that. But anyway, it's in the hands of EOCO. We are hoping that tomorrow something can happen with our brother Adom Otchere so that something more reasonable can happen. Similar to what the CID did, the Criminal Investigations Department of the Police. They called Wontumi in. He went into their office. They held him for 4 hours. They allowed his lawyers to be there. They interrogated him. They wrote down questions and said, listen, we are investigating you for this, that. Go home. Come tomorrow. Tomorrow he came. They went there. Yes. With EOCO, they don't want to sit with him and interrogate him and begin the process of prosecuting. They want to arrest him on the road in some funny way and then take him in just to show him that his party is no longer in power. But his party may come back to power. His party may come back to power. This party may very well come back to power. Do you know what's going to happen? The NDC was not in power yesterday. The NDC came back to power. The NDC was defeated in 2016. They're humiliating defeat, similar to the NPP one. You can say one is better than the other, one is bigger than the other, but it's about the same. Granting a super parliamentary majority to the NPP in 2017, granting a super majority to the NDC in 2025. That can also be reversed. A super majority can become, as they call, a mighty minority. It was a super majority before. It came to a mighty minority. It's not just that happened in Ghana. Go to England. Keir Starmer and the Labour Party, they watched Parliament complete and they moved from minority to a super majority. The other day, when Boris Johnson was there, they were in the super minority. But now they're in the majority. In America, it's the same thing. The Democrats are hoping that in midterm election, they can close the gap a bit. But the election of 2024 was devastating. Donald Trump and the Republican Party swept all the Congress and also have the Senate. So that's how politics is. We need to standardize a few things. Human rights are human rights. Every Ghanaian has it is attached to every Ghanaian the day he's born. So let's respect that if we can. But if we cannot, fair enough. All right, so members of parliament went into picket over there on the Wontumi story. Let's see some of the videos that we have about the Wontumi story. Alexander Fenyo-Markin was saying something. Let's have a look at Alexander Markin's video.
I want to say something to my respected friend, Mr. Adom Otchere. He will not be executive director of EOCO forever. One day he will not be there. He should be mindful of how he is going about things. You will call them, they won't even respond. You try to engage them, they will say, oh, okay. The next moment, they will be tossing you. We will continue to peacefully dialogue with them. I'm not saying that if Wontumi has done anything, don't take him through due process. No. Don't harass him.
Alexander Markin, you couldn't have put it better. You are very right about that. Let's get on to the next story. Ibrahim Mahama is suing Bryce Simmons. Now, what is he suing Bryce Simmons for? Bryce Simmons is alleged to have published in some of his famous articles that Ibrahim Mahama has been responsible for the termination of contract between the government of Ghana, which will be the Ministry of Lands, and Goldfields Ghana Limited. I think Bryce Simmons alleged other things. Let's see the details. Can we? Yeah, okay. Here we go. Ibrahim Mahama versus Bryce Simmons. So Ibrahim Mahama has sued Bryce Simmons, claiming that Bryce Simmons' statements are defamatory of himself. Okay, what are these assertions by Bryce Simmons? One, Bryce Simmons made the following assertions: that Ibrahim Mahama is responsible for government of Ghana's decision not to renew the license of Goldfields. Number two, that Ibrahim Mahama undermined Goldfields' ability to secure a renewal for its lease. Number three, that Ibrahim Mahama leverages his relationship with the sitting president to obtain unfair business advantage. What reliefs is Ibrahim seeking? One, he's asking a declaration that the statements are defamatory. Number two, order of retraction of the said statements and an apology in the Daily Graphic. Number three, order of perpetual injunction restraining Bryce Simmons from every engaging in such a crusade of words against Ibrahim. Number four, that general damages worth 10 million cedis, cost inclusive of legal fees. So this is the action that Ibrahim Mahama has brought against Bryce Simmons. Viewers, you remember that Goldfields Ghana Limited had an issue with the system. They said that their contract is being terminated in a way that it shouldn't, and all sorts of issues occurred. Eventually, they came to have a meeting with President Mahama, I believe. Some kind of arrangement was agreed upon that Goldfields will have a 1-year extension, and within the 1 year, there'll be conversations about what to do with the contract. I think Bryce Simmons wrote something and Ibrahim Mahama has taken legal action against him. So we wish both parties well, and we will be following and watching. We hope that it doesn't get to court. They can settle it before it gets to court, because Bryce Simmons is somebody that has a big impact in some of the things that we do in this country. He always has good information. Okay, so now let's what do we have here? The Ghana embassy shuts. The Ghana temporarily shuts embassy in US over alleged visa scandal. Everyone was confused when this was published, and everyone was wondering what is happening. Because when we're growing up, if you're listening to the news, when Yasser Arafat did something and say United Kingdom was not happy with it, and therefore they refused Yasser Arafat's entry to London when he arrived or something like that. For those of you who don't know who Yasser Arafat is, you can Google him. Yasser, Y-A-S-S-E-R, Arafat, A-R-A-F-A-T. Yasser Arafat, he was our childhood hero. Yasser Arafat was the leader of what they called the Palestinian Liberation Organization, the PLO. Yasser Arafat was, in the era of the Cold War, he fought massively on the left. Yasser Arafat was this dynamic leader who could, by virtue of the politics of Israel and Jerusalem, could not enter his own territory, the territory where the Palestinian area where he is supposed to be the leader. He was unable to enter because Israel will not allow him to enter. So Yasser Arafat was carrying his crusade around the world. He came to Ghana. He will be in South Africa after Mandela was released. He will be in SWAPO with Sam Nujoma and all of that. Yasser Arafat was with Che Guevara and all of those people. So Yasser was a revolutionary, and he always dressed like that. So whenever Yasser Arafat had done something wrong, the African Union would usually support Yasser Arafat. And the way in which the African Union would make their case for Yasser Arafat was that they take a particular date and said that the African Union members, or those days they call them the Organization of African Unity, all of these members are going to close down their embassies in Britain. So Nigeria, Ghana, Uganda, Cameroon, Kenya, all of us who are showing solidarity with Yasser will close our embassy in Britain for that day. So closure of embassy did not reflect a disciplinary action on the embassy. Closure of embassy was a diplomatic signal to the country in which the embassy is that we are not happy with you. So I'm not so sure why, having studied political science, Ablakwa took that decision that this closing embassy. Closing embassy is suggesting that we are unhappy with the United States of America. Closing embassy is not that we are disciplining somebody in the embassy. Closing the embassy means, maybe I'm wrong, but you are the foreign minister. Does closing embassy mean, do you take disciplinary action by closing the embassy? We thought that from political science, international politics, that closing embassy meant that you have a problem with the country in which the embassy is. So that if we have a problem in the United States, then you close down the embassy. But this embassy that you closed almost indefinitely, well, it's open today anyway. As a matter of record, it's open today. But this is what happened, and we are all still trying to understand the points. Today, I saw on social media people arguing that the Mr. Kwatin boy who is involved in the so-called visa scandal was employed by the embassy in 2014 and 15, contrary to what Ablakwa put up that he was there in 17. He says that the embassy had been working with him in 2015-14 at the time when Hannah Tete was the foreign minister. Before who was the ambassador in America under John Mahama? I can't remember now. I think it will come as the program goes on. So this is a little thing we want to say. But viewers, you can research and correct us if we are wrong. What is the essence of closing down your embassy in a certain country? It is always and every time reflective of a decision that you are taking in protest about something that is happening, that the country is involved. Maybe America is involved in something in Panama. America is involved in something in Burkina Faso. And then we decide that in solidarity with Panama or in solidarity with Burkina Faso, we close down embassy in Washington. That's how it is. But you don't close down the embassy in Washington to say that we are exercising disciplinary action over our people there. You want to exercise disciplinary action over people there, just take them out. You just bring them to Ghana, you sack them, whatever you want to do. But you don't shut down the embassy. But anyway, we'll see how it goes now that